Today we're going to learn about how clear goals can change your life and help you get amazing results in every area of your life. Think for a moment about what it would be like to have goals that are so clear they inspire and guide your actions, making the way to success crystal clear. Goals aren't just hopes. They're the plans that make dreams come true. They give you direction, a reason to keep going, and the drive to be the best you can be at work and in your personal life. Whether you want to move up in your job, become financially independent, or grow as a person, how clear your goals are will determine how successful you are. Today, we're going to talk about the rules that make setting goals work, and not just dreams. These concepts are not just for a small group of ambitious people. Anyone can use them to move closer to their goals. When you know how important clear goals are, you can take focused action, get past problems, and achieve amazing results. Come with me as we talk about what clear goals are all about. Let's look into how this simple practice can help you reach your full potential and create a future full of happiness and success. And the development of unwavering self-confidence will open up possibilities that you cannot currently imagine. You'll be able to dream bigger dreams, set higher goals, and take on greater commitments, diving into life with more enthusiasm than ever before. Self-confidence is the pivot on which the door to individual achievement swings open. When your self-confidence becomes limitless, you can fulfill more of your potential than under any other circumstances. Over 2,000 years ago, Aristotle wrote that happiness is a condition, not something achieved by pursuing it directly, but arising as a result of engaging in purposeful activities. In a way, this is a statement of the law of indirect effort. This law simply states that nearly everything we receive in life involving emotional experiences comes to us more indirectly than directly. It comes as a result of doing something else. If we pursue happiness directly, it eludes us. But if we engage in something that is truly important to us and make real progress toward our dreams and aspirations, we genuinely feel happy. Self-confidence is also subject to the law of indirect effort. We reach higher levels of self-confidence by setting and achieving increasingly higher goals and objectives as we progress step by step in life. We feel better, stronger, and more capable of taking on even greater challenges. We develop the confidence to tackle bigger goals by applying our energies to the achievement of smaller goals. We build our confidence as we progress until we reach the point where there is nothing we cannot face. Indeed, the habit of setting and achieving ever larger goals is absolutely essential for developing increasingly higher levels of personal strength and power. You can only truly believe in yourself when you absolutely know that you have the ability to do what you set out to do. Real self-confidence doesn't come from positive wishes, hopes, or positive thoughts. It comes from positive knowledge based on having repeatedly demonstrated to yourself that you have what it takes to get from where you are to where you want to go. Self-confidence is truly a state of mind and attitude, and as an attitude, it's more important than facts. But it must be based on facts to be the kind of self-confidence you can rely on in a crisis. Your job is to take practical steps to objectively convince yourself that you are absolutely unstoppable and that you can achieve anything you set your mind to. If self-confidence is a mental attitude, it is based on mental principles and laws, the most important of which is that thought is creative. You are not what you think you are, but what you think you are. As you systematically and deliberately change your thinking about yourself, your external reality will change to match it. Your thoughts create your life, including and especially your thoughts about your level of self-confidence. The reason goals are so important is because of these mental laws. You are happy and successful to the extent that you shape your life and thinking to these laws and live in harmony with them. The first law we've already discussed is the law of cause and effect. It is so simple and so powerful that you must remember it all the time. Another way to state this law is the principle of sowing and reaping. It simply says that whatever a man sows, that he will also reap. If you sow clear goals and objectives in your mind, you will reap clear results and rewards in your outer life. A subset of the law of cause and effect is the law of attraction. This is considered one of the most important laws, explaining what happens to you. It simply says that like attracts like. It says that you inevitably attract into your life people, ideas, circumstances, and opportunities that are in harmony with your dominant thoughts, regardless of what you're thinking most of the time. You are attracting into your life from all directions. This is why fuzzy goals produce fuzzy results, while clear goals produce clear results. And since your level of self-confidence is directly related to your effectiveness in achieving your goals, it's very important that you know exactly what you want and think of nothing else. Another law, again, a variation of the law of cause and effect, is the law of correspondence. The law of correspondence, as mentioned earlier, says that your outer world tends to be a mirror of your inner world. Your outer world of health, wealth, and relationships will be a mirrored reflection of your thinking on each of these subjects. Your thinking is the most powerful force in your universe. It is both creative and causative. Every minute of every day is shaping the world around you. As Shakespeare said, there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Your life is what your thoughts make of it. Another principle I mentioned earlier is the law of concentration. This is another very important law when it comes to the development and maintenance of self-confidence. The law of concentration says that anything you dwell upon continuously grows into your reality. Thinking about a subject, persistently dwelling on it, is like watering and fertilizing a seed. It causes it to grow faster in your experience. The more you focus on any goal or topic, the more mental capacities you devote to making that goal or topic a reality. The law of concentration explains why unwavering dedication to a single purpose goes hand in hand with all great achievements. The ability to focus single-mindedly on one subject, excluding all others, explains why ordinary people achieve extraordinary things because of this mental law. An average individual with average abilities, by applying all mental powers to the achievement of a single goal, often achieves much more than a seemingly luckier person whose energies are dissipated by having several goals at once, or as often happens, having no goals at all. Furthermore, there is the law of substitution. This law simply states that your conscious mind can hold only one thought at a time, positive or negative. And any thought that is continuously held in your conscious mind will eventually be accepted by your subconscious mind. And your subconscious mind, along with these other mental laws, will go to work to make that thought or idea a reality. Your subconscious mind is immensely powerful and is the seat of all your emotions, beliefs, values, attitudes, and feelings. Developing the unshakable self-confidence you desire requires you to approach your mental computer and take every possible step to program self-confidence deeply into your subconscious mind. The final law you need to know when it comes to purpose, personal power, and self-confidence is the law of emotion. This law simply states that every decision you make, every thought you think, every action you take is based on an emotion of some kind. Fear emotion is at one end of the spectrum, and desire emotion is at the other end. When you hold a thought in your conscious mind and it is charged with any kind of emotion, the subconscious mind quickly accepts it. Then the subconscious activates all the other mental laws and begins to turn that internal thought into an external reality in your experience. The stronger the emotion, the faster the change in your behavior and experience. And if the emotion is strong enough, the change can be instantaneous. For example, I had a friend who smoked for 30 years. He claimed he couldn't quit smoking because it was a deeply ingrained habit dating back to early adulthood. One day, he experienced some chest pains and went to his doctor, who ran a series of tests. When they had the test results, his doctor sat him down and told him he had a heart condition, and if he continued smoking, he would die within 6 months. Samuel Johnson once said that when a man is to be hanged in the morning, it concentrates his mind wonderfully. Well, the idea of dying had such an emotional charge for my friend that he took out his cigarettes, threw them in the trash, and never touched one again. Positively, if you are absolutely convinced that you were meant to be a great success in life, and that there was nothing in the world that could prevent you from achieving great things, as long as you persisted and wholeheartedly engaged in every activity, you would become an unstoppable force of nature. The depth of your belief and the strength of your conviction will determine the power of your personality. If you truly believe in your ability to triumph, you will become unstoppable. And you can develop this kind of belief, this inner confidence, by developing what I call the 4 B's. The first B stands for clarity, knowing exactly what you want to achieve and exactly the person you want to become. The second B is conviction, which is believing absolutely that you have the ability to do anything you set your mind to. The third B is commitment, which requires the willingness to make every effort necessary. And the fourth B is consistency, which refers to the strength of character to say and do certain things in a certain way every day until you achieve the goals you have set for yourself. With clarity, conviction, commitment, and consistency, you will be on your way to developing the kind of confidence that will make everything possible for you. The reason goals are so important in developing self-confidence is because the very act of setting an important goal for your life will activate in your favor all the mental laws we have just discussed. It will be as if all the switches had been thrown and the afterburners of your potential had been ignited. Clear goals free you from the law of accident, the tendency for things to happen randomly and unpredictably. Goals give you a clear sense of direction and the knowledge that your life is self-determined. Goals give you a sense of power, purpose, channelized energy, and the feeling that everything that happens to you is part of an organized plan that leads you step by step toward achieving your highest ideals. I believe your ability to set goals and make plans to achieve them is truly the master skill of success. Without it, very little is possible, and there are many studies to prove it. Personally, I have seen thousands of examples among my students of the amazing power of goal setting. For example, I recently addressed about 600 members of a national association at their annual convention in Phoenix, Arizona. During this talk, I emphasized the importance of writing down exactly what they wanted and then making written plans to achieve it. That was on a Thursday. About 8 days later, on the following Friday, someone called my office for my fax number. He said he wanted to send something immediately and didn't want to wait for the mail. The fax that arrived told this amazing story. The gentleman who wrote it said he had heard many times about goal setting and was prepared to be unimpressed with the talk I gave at the convention. However, the opposite happened. Instead, he decided to sit down after the convention and seriously write his goals for the future. The letter continued to say that on Sunday he made a list of 10 goals, both personal and financial, that he wanted to achieve over the next 12 months. What surprised him was that by Monday he had accomplished 5 of the 10 goals. The next morning at 5 a.m. he could hardly believe it, quickly jotting down 5 more goals to bring his yearly list to 10. And by that Friday, when he wrote this letter, he had achieved 5 more. He felt he had made more progress in 1 week with clear written goals and plans than in the entire previous year. A woman going through a difficult period in her life, dealing with personal health and financial issues, decided to sit down and set new goals and make plans to tackle her difficulties. As a result, within a year, she exited a toxic relationship, joined Alcoholics Anonymous, and quit drinking. She lost 40 pounds and tripled her income to over $100,000 a year. There are many other testimonies to the power of written goals. And before this session ends, I will give you a simple technique for setting goals that can kick your life into high gear. Remember when I said everything you do is the result of fear or desire, the law of emotion? Fear is the great enemy of self-confidence. Fear has always been humanity's greatest enemy. It's fear that holds us back more than any other factor. It acts subconsciously upon us to undermine and sabotage our best intentions. In fact, as you listen to this message, you're probably deciding to take some time to write down your goals and have a clear picture of your future. But what will happen in most cases is that fear will rear its ugly head and trip you up. So sometimes this fear will consciously appear in the form of rationalizations and excuses. You might find yourself saying, I already know what my goals are. I don't need to write them down. This is just another way of saying that you don't really believe in your ability to do better than you are now. Sometimes fear will manifest as procrastination and delay. You'll decide to write down your goals and plans over the weekend or during your vacation or over the summer or whenever you can spare a few hours sometime in the indefinite future. Then, like 97% or more of Americans, you never will. And then you'll tend to rationalize and tell yourself, well, given my situation, it probably wouldn't have made any difference anyway. If fear is the great enemy of self-confidence, then the great enemy of human achievement is the comfort zone. Psychologists have found that each of us has a tendency to settle into a zone of performance and behavior where we feel comfortable, where it's easy and unchallenging, and then to stay there. We stop striving, we relax, and day by day, we develop habits that lead to low performance and eventually failure. The tragedy of the comfort zone is that it starts out feeling comfortable in the first place, but quickly leads to complacency. Complacency eventually leads to boredom, and the question, is this all there is? Instead of life being an exciting adventure, for most people it's simply a boring repetition. And finally, the comfort zone leads through complacency and boredom to frustration and unhappiness. Deep down, the average person knows they came into this world with amazing abilities. He or she knows there is something better than this. As psychologist Carl Rogers once said, within every organism, there is an innate drive towards the full realization of its inherent possibilities. There's something nagging inside every person telling them there's so much more they could be, have, and do grandly. Great men and women are those who absolutely believe they are on earth to do something wonderful with their lives. They have a vision of something greater or better than their current circumstances. Personal greatness means having a sense of destiny and the conviction that your thoughts and imagination are the only real limits to your possibilities. In a 5-year study of leaders, Warren Pinnes discovered that each of them consciously avoided the comfort zone by continually setting higher goals. They never allowed themselves to become complacent. They lived their lives fully, always striving to be more and develop unshakable self-confidence in themselves. You need to see yourself and think of yourself as a leader and do what you need to do to reach the outer limits of your potential. You need to set goals that draw out the best in you. You need to work towards goals that give you a sense of mastery and peak performance. And it all starts with a notebook, a pen, and you. The starting point for setting goals is to rid yourself of all mental limitations and let your mind freely wander through the universe of possibilities. Temporarily imagine you have no limitations of time, money, knowledge, contacts, experience, or education. Imagine that anything you can write down is possible for you. Remember, anything you can clearly define and crystallize on paper is probably achievable if you desire it enough, with enough time and firmness, and you are willing to make every effort and sacrifice necessary. There are no unrealistic goals, only unrealistic deadlines. The very act of writing them down sets the entire universe in motion in your favor and activates all mental laws. In fact, the act of writing down big, challenging goals makes 3 things happen. First, your concept of yourself and your self-confidence immediately increase. The act of setting goals requires self-confidence and at the same time generates self-confidence. Having the courage to write down what you really want improves your self-image and boosts your self-esteem. The action itself generates a sense of greater power and personal capability. Second, setting goals actually provides you with a burst of physical and mental energy. Your heart rate and breathing rate increase. The act of setting goals is inherently exciting. It sounds a bit cheesy, but someone once said feeling apathetic is worse than having a list, and it's true. It's like stepping on the accelerator of your own physical and mental potential, and if you do it every day, the results can be astounding. Thirdly, the mere act of committing a goal to writing dramatically increases the likelihood of achieving it. Your mind is structured in such a way that you cannot clearly define a goal without simultaneously having the capacity to achieve it. Once again, the most important question is, how much do you desire it? There are several effective mental tools you can use to establish your goals. The first is to imagine you've just won $1 million in cash and can do or have whatever you want. What would you do with the money? Where would you go? What changes would you make in your life if you had complete financial freedom? What would you do differently from what you're doing now? Write it all down. A second exercise involves describing your ideal lifestyle. Imagine you could live what you believe to be the perfect life. Where in the country would you choose to live? What kind of business would you choose to work for or start and manage on your own? What type of home and car would you like? How would you like to spend your time and live your life? What kind of relationships would you want? A third way to set goals is to ask yourself what you would do if you knew today that you only had 6 months left to live. If you had no limitations, how would you spend your last 6 months on earth? This is just another way of asking what is really important to you. Who would you like to spend time with? What would you like to achieve? What would you like to leave behind? In other words, what do you really value? What are the things that truly give meaning and purpose to your life? A fourth exercise is to list all the concerns or problems in your life and write a goal that is the perfect solution for each difficulty. If you're worried about money, write a goal that clearly defines how much you want to earn, how much you want to have, and what you want to achieve financially over the next 3 to 5 years. Think about your family and relationships. Describe the perfect situation between you and the important people in your life. And then set a series of goals to achieve that situation. Consider your health. Describe what perfect physical health means to you, and then devise a plan to reach that level of physical fitness. A fifth way to set goals is to define the type of person you would most like to become, both personally and professionally. Then develop a personal and professional development plan that allows you to learn, grow, and become the kind of person you most admire and would like to be. Remember, as Goethe said, before you can have something, you must first be something. Once you have written down your goals, divide them into different areas of your life that are important. And basically, there are 6 divisions that most people use, but you may have more or fewer. These 6 divisions are: first, financial and material goals; second, family and personal goals; third, personal development goals; fourth, spiritual goals; fifth, physical and health goals; and sixth, social and community goals. To perform at your best, your life must be in balance. This means you need to have goals in each area to progressively move forward in something that is important to you all the time. The next step, once you have all your goals written down, is to organize them in order of priority. Select the goals that are more important than others and place them at the top of each list. Then select the second, third, and fourth goals, and so on. Finally, and perhaps most importantly of all, when setting goals, is to select the one goal that is most important to you than any other. This is the key to your success. The mental discipline to set your goals, sort them out, and decide which is your main goal or your main defined purpose is the starting point for individual greatness. This goal becomes the basic organizational principle for all other goals and activities. And this goal allows you to use all your mental resources to drive the progress that will lead to the unshakable self-confidence you desire. This is not easy, but it is very important. Oswald Spengler once wrote that the giants of the race have been men and women of concentration who have struck massed blows in one place until they have accomplished their purpose. Successful men and women today are those who have an overwhelming idea, an unbreakable goal, men and women of single intense purpose. Decided concentration in the direction of your dreams will intensify your desires and increase the positive emotional component of your goal. This intensity of focus will activate the law of attraction and start attracting people and opportunities into your life that are in harmony with your goal. And the more you think about it, the more it will dominate and direct your life. And the faster you will move toward it and it toward you. Your main objective should be measurable. It's a basic rule that what gets measured gets done. So make it clear, quantitative, and objective, and if necessary, break it down into smaller parts that you can work on one at a time. Your main goal should also be clearly time-bound. Set a deadline, select a realistic yet challenging date for its completion, and write it down. If it's a long-term goal, like 2 or 3 years, break it down into smaller parts with shorter-term goals or milestones every 30 to 60 days. Finally, create a reward structure for yourself upon achieving each part of your goal and upon achieving your complete goal. For maximum motivation and high achievement, it's necessary to link each goal to a reward and each part of the goal to a smaller reward. The reward could be a vacation or a holiday, a new car or house, or something that affects all members of your family. Many people gain support and cooperation from their spouses and children by agreeing on rewards that everyone will receive upon reaching the goal. Rewards make the process more enjoyable and interesting, and also act as an internal boost that propels you forward when things get tough. Once you have your major and minor goals, build your plans by making detailed lists of everything you will need to do to achieve each goal, and then organize the list by time and priority. What will you do first, and what will you do next? What is more important to the goal, and what is less important? Make each activity measurable and give it a deadline. Choose the first thing you'll do and start setting goals, making plans, and starting. You will join the top 3% of Americans, and your future is practically guaranteed. One last point regarding goals is to keep the confidentiality of those goals. Many people make the mistake of talking too much about their goals. Talking too much dissipates their energies and diminishes their motivation. They lose the strength and power they would have had if they had kept their goals to themselves and focused on purposeful activities. And now, let me give you the simple technique that has transformed my life and that of nearly everyone who has used it. It's simply this. Get yourself a spiral notebook, the kind used in school for taking notes. Then start each day by sitting down with this notebook and writing your main goals in the present tense, as if they were already a reality. Use strong, definite words like can, achieve, am. You can write other things in this notebook if you wish, but most importantly, take 3 to 5 minutes or more each day to write and rewrite your main goals in the present tense. Each time you write these goals, you embed them deeper into your subconscious mind. Increase the intensity of your desire and the depth of your belief. Activate the mental laws of concentration, attraction, and correspondence. Focus your mental powers and increase your confidence that the goal is achievable. By rewriting your goals every day, they become clearer and stronger, and they begin to acquire power of their own. This exercise will engrave your goals so deeply in your subconscious mind that eventually they will be set, and you will begin to move irresistibly and unstoppably towards their achievement. Your future will be guaranteed as you develop this ability to set and achieve whatever you want in life. You will develop the kind of confidence that comes from positive knowing rather than positive thinking. You will become unstoppable. As we come to the end of our discussion on the importance of clear goals, I want you to think about how focused purpose can have a huge effect on your success. It's not enough to just have clear goals. They need to fuel your desire, align your actions, and push you towards your dreams with purposeful determination. You've learned today that having a clear goal is essential for success. Setting clear, doable goals gives you the power to deal with problems with strength, take advantage of chances with confidence, and see your progress clearly. Setting goals turns vague hopes into real results and gives you a way to make your dreams come true. You should use what you've learned today in your own life, I think. Make sure you clearly define your goals. Break them down into steps you can take and commit to making steady progress. Take on difficulties as chances to learn and grow and enjoy each small step along the way. Thank you for your hard work and commitment to personal and professional success. In order to live lives full of meaning, accomplishment, and fulfillment, let's keep using the power of clear goals. Let's set a good example for others and make a difference in our neighborhoods and beyond. Getting clear is the first step to success. Let's set high standards for ourselves, work hard to reach our goals, and make the future full of success and happiness.